Ladies and gentlemen, life can often feel like a constant battle, a series of challenges that leave us weary and overwhelmed. We wake up every morning already feeling the weight of the day ahead and try to face it with determination, only to be met with the struggles that make it seem impossible to move forward. But what if I told you that you don't have to do it alone? What if you allowed something greater than yourself to lead the way? When we think about the trials we face, we often carry them in silence. We don't always share the burden with others, believing that we need to handle everything ourselves. It's as if we've convinced ourselves that we are stronger when we shoulder it all, that we have to prove our worth through our ability to endure on our own. But the truth is, we were never meant to carry these burdens by ourselves. You see, it's not about being strong in your own strength. It's about leaning into the strength that is always available to you. The beauty of life's struggles is that they can lead us to a place of surrender. Surrendering is not a sign of weakness. It's the ultimate form of strength. Surrender means you trust in something greater than yourself. Surrender means you are willing to let go of control and trust that there's a purpose unfolding in the midst of your pain. The reality is that we were never created to fight alone. We were created to walk with a guiding hand, to have a source of strength to help us stand when everything else feels like it's falling apart. When we struggle alone, we limit our possibilities. We believe the lie that we have to figure it all out by ourselves, that the weight of the world rests entirely on our shoulders. But when we release that grip and open ourselves to the guidance that's always been available, we discover that there is a power that can carry us through things we never thought we'd be able to endure. We don't have to navigate the journey of life blindfolded, hoping that we're going in the right direction. We can choose to trust that the path ahead is already laid out for us, even when we can't see it clearly. Imagine how your day would change if you woke up every morning with the knowledge that you don't have to struggle alone. Imagine beginning each day with the peace that comes from knowing that even in the midst of the chaos, there is a divine hand guiding you. This doesn't mean that the struggles won't come. It simply means that when they do, you don't face them in isolation. You walk through them with the assurance that you are not alone in this journey. When you allow God to lead your day, you open yourself to the possibility of living with intention. You can approach each moment with a sense of peace that doesn't come from your circumstances, but from your connection to something greater than yourself. It's about trusting that you are not walking this road on your own, that every step you take is guided by a force that wants to see you thrive, not just survive. We don't always understand the road we're walking, and sometimes it's hard to see how the struggles are leading us to something greater. But even in the uncertainty, we can have faith that there is a plan, even when we don't have all the answers. The beauty of letting go of control is that you allow space for the miraculous to unfold. You stop trying to figure it all out and start trusting that the path is already prepared for you. It's easy to get caught up in the fear that we're not enough, that we don't have the strength to face what's ahead. But when we allow God to lead our day, we don't need to rely on our own strength alone. It's a partnership. You bring your willingness and God brings the power. When you combine your faith with that power, you can face anything that comes your way. You stop struggling with the weight of your own expectations and begin to live with the freedom of knowing that you are supported, you are guided, and you are loved. In those moments when you feel overwhelmed, when the weight of your struggles feels like it's too much to carry, take a deep breath and remember that you are not walking this journey alone. Trust in the guidance that's available to you. Lean into the strength that comes from knowing that you are held, that your day is already covered, and that everything you need to overcome is already within you. It's time to stop struggling alone. It's time to release the weight of doing it all on your own. Let God lead your day and watch how your perspective shifts, how your strength is renewed, and how your life transforms. Because when you stop trying to control everything and start trusting the process, you will discover that what's ahead is greater than anything you could have imagined. You are not meant to carry your burdens alone. Trust in a higher power for strength and guidance. Often we fall into the trap of thinking we have to manage everything by ourselves, believing that we must handle life's challenges without any help. This mindset leaves us feeling exhausted, overwhelmed, and isolated, as though the weight of the world rests entirely on our shoulders. But the truth is, we were never designed to bear these burdens alone. There is a source of strength that is always available to us, a divine presence ready to carry us through even the most difficult moments. When we choose to trust in that higher power, we open ourselves up to a strength greater than our own, a power that can lift us when we are weak and guide us when we are lost. It's about acknowledging that we don't have to figure it all out by ourselves and that it's okay to lean into something bigger. By trusting in this guidance, we free ourselves from the pressure of needing to control everything and allow the wisdom and grace we need to navigate life to flow freely. Surrendering control is not weakness, but an act of faith and strength. In a world that often celebrates self-sufficiency and the idea of having everything figured out, surrender can feel counterintuitive. We're taught to push through, fight harder, and never give up, which can make the act of letting go seem like giving in. But true strength lies in recognizing when to release control and trust in something beyond our understanding. Surrendering is not about abandoning our responsibility. It's about acknowledging that we are not the sole creators of our destiny. It's about placing our trust in a higher purpose, knowing that there is guidance available to us that surpasses what we can see or comprehend. When we surrender, we shift from a mindset of scarcity and fear to one of abundance and trust. Instead of trying to control every outcome, we allow space for the unexpected, knowing that there's a bigger picture at play. It takes great courage to surrender, to admit that we don't have all the answers, but in doing so, we open ourselves to divine direction and the peace that comes with it. It's a conscious choice to embrace faith over fear, trust over control. Life struggles are easier to face when you trust that you are being guided every step of the way. When we are overwhelmed by life's challenges, it's easy to feel like we're walking alone, unsure of where to turn or what step to take next. But the truth is, there's a divine guidance available to us at all times, even in the midst of our most difficult moments. When we trust that this higher power is leading us, it shifts our perspective from one of fear and doubt to one of peace and assurance. Instead of feeling lost in the chaos, we begin to see that every challenge we face is part of a greater plan, one that is shaping us for something greater. The struggles we go through aren't just random obstacles, they're opportunities for growth, refinement, and deeper connection to the divine. When we trust that we are being led, we can face these challenges with a sense of purpose, knowing that we're not navigating them alone. Even when the path is unclear and the way forward seems difficult, we can move forward with confidence, knowing that every step is guided and that the strength we need will always be provided. Letting go of the need to figure everything out opens the door to divine possibilities and peace. We often find ourselves tangled in a web of worry, trying to control every detail and predict every outcome. This need to control stems from a fear of uncertainty, a fear that if we don't plan every step, we'll lose our way. But the truth is, the more we hold on to the need for control, the more we block ourselves from experiencing the fullness of what's possible. When we release the pressure to have all the answers, we make room for unexpected blessings, new opportunities, and divine solutions that we couldn't have anticipated. Letting go doesn't mean being passive or complacent. It means shifting from a mindset of constant striving to one of trust and openness. When we stop trying to figure everything out on our own, we invite peace into our hearts because we can rest in the knowledge that the path we're on is being guided by something greater than ourselves. The pressure to control everything is lifted, and we can move forward with confidence, knowing that we don't have to have it all figured out for everything to fall into place. When you allow God to lead your day, you walk in freedom, knowing you are supported and loved. Too often, we carry the burden of our own expectations, trying to control every moment and every outcome. We act as if we must have everything under control in order to be successful, happy, or worthy. But this mindset often leads to exhaustion, frustration, and even despair. The truth is, when we allow God to lead, we free ourselves from the weight of trying to be in control all the time. Trusting in His guidance gives us the peace that we are not walking through our day alone. There's a divine hand at work, gently directing our steps, helping us make choices, and providing the strength we need for every challenge. This sense of support allows us to face each day with a sense of assurance, knowing that no matter what comes our way, we are not alone. We are loved, guided, and empowered to handle whatever lies ahead. Walking in this freedom means we release our fears, doubts, and insecurities, and we embrace the confidence that comes from knowing we are held by a power greater than ourselves. As we navigate the complexities of life, it's easy to become consumed by the pressure to handle everything on our own. The weight of our struggles, the uncertainty of the future, and the demands of daily life can leave us feeling overwhelmed and exhausted. But in those moments of struggle, we are invited to remember that we don't have to carry it all alone. God's guidance is always available, and when we allow Him to lead, we release ourselves from the burden of doing it all in our own strength. Surrendering control isn't a sign of weakness, but rather a powerful act of trust. It's acknowledging that we don't have to figure everything out ourselves. It's letting go of fear and embracing faith in something greater than ourselves. When we trust that God is leading us, even in the midst of uncertainty, we find peace. The struggles become easier to face because we are no longer fighting them alone. Letting go of the need to control opens the door to divine possibilities and unimaginable peace. We no longer have to have everything figured out to move forward. Instead, we walk in the freedom of knowing that every step is guided and every challenge is an opportunity for growth. As we trust God to lead our day, we find strength in His support, love, and guidance, allowing us to face whatever comes our way with confidence and grace.